Good evening. I'm Scott Borkhardt, President of the Board of the ARC of Massachusetts, and welcome to the ARC's 2021 Virtual Gala to recognize the endless possibilities that all members of our community have. Each year, the Gala is a wonderful celebration of the ARC and our vibrant community. And we are very happy that you've chosen to spend your evening with us. The past year has been defined by challenges presented by the COVID-19 pandemic and the steps that we've taken individually and collectively to overcome those challenges. Maintaining our health and safety and the health and safety of our loved ones has been paramount. It's clear that our community is very vulnerable to the virus. To stay safe, we've learned to wear a mask, socially distance, and practice good hygiene. Sadly, these steps have not always been enough, and we've lost people that we care about. The impact of the pandemic extends beyond health and safety. The measures put in place to slow the virus spread have isolated members of our community and resulted in reduced access to essential services, creating additional challenges for persons with disabilities and their caregivers. That was the case for our family. Our daughter, Noelle, is an engaging, hardworking 24-year-old with Down syndrome who absolutely loves her job at a local grocery store. At the outset of the pandemic, it was difficult to assess her workplace health risk. We were scared, and we made the painful choice to pause Noelle's employment. And while she was safe during this time, Noelle was unhappy because she was isolated and missed her work colleagues. We gathered information over the spring and the summer and slowly gained confidence that Noelle could resume her job duties with a relative degree of safety. This was a race against time as Noelle's isolation gave way to boredom and depression. Thankfully, Noelle returned to work in early September. It was the happiest of happy days, and the positive impact to her mental health was immediate and significant. And thankfully, she stayed safe and is entering her 6th month of a 4-day work week. Overcoming challenges and innovating is a core skill of our community. We know how to get needed information and advocate. And we are also great at creating endless possibilities. And we've done this during the pandemic. Think for a minute about how we've learned to use technology in new ways to overcome the barriers imposed by the pandemic. For Noelle and our family, like many of you, technology has been a door out of isolation. We've worked with her to creatively find ways to leverage Zoom for piano lessons, music therapy, Zumba, exercise classes, doctor's appointments, and friendships. Once the pandemic is behind us, there's no question in my mind that our community will be equipped with new skills and resources to continue to build the endless possibilities that we all want for our loved ones. And now, I'd like to introduce Paula Eben of WBZ CBS Boston. We are pleased that she could join us tonight.
Welcome to the Endless Possibilities Virtual Gala and Auction. I'm so glad to be your host today. I've been involved with the ARC and its affiliates for years, and I hosted the 50th anniversary, which seems like yesterday. The ARC of Massachusetts is celebrating its 67th year of advocacy. This organization has changed the lives of tens of thousands of people, demonstrating that there are endless possibilities with intellectual and developmental disabilities in employment and community life. And before we get started, I want to encourage you to go on this site where you'll be able to donate or bid on an item throughout our event. Please donate at a level that's meaningful to you. I hope you'll take a moment now to make sure that you're signed in and you're able to bid on an incredible roster of auction items and make a donation to support the ARC's mission. It's quick and simple. Just click on the sign-in button in the upper right corner of your screen. If you registered earlier, you can sign in and go straight to the auction or donation page. If you haven't registered yet, it's very easy to sign up. And our hope today is to raise the necessary funds to help the ARC of Massachusetts continue the important work they do in our community. I want to introduce Leo Sarkissian, our co-host for today. Leo's worked in this field for 45 years, with nearly 30 of them helping the ARC expand equity and services for persons with disabilities across the Commonwealth. Leo, I understand that we're going to see 3 stories reflecting the impact of the ARC's advocacy, caregiving, residential, and employment during the COVID pandemic. The stories highlight the ARC in Massachusetts, Berkshire County ARC, LifeWorks, and Encompass Human Services.
Hi, Paula. Great to see you again. And yes, tonight we focus on chapters who formed the foundation of the ARC decades ago. And thanks to all of you who have joined us tonight for the 2021 Virtual Gala. We are dedicating this event to Nick and John, who are featured in the second story, who are two of the first 5 individuals to move into a special medical home southeast of Boston, managed by LifeWorks. Please join us, become a partner in our work, help us achieve equity, help us advance empowerment and services. Together, we can do it. To those of you who have already made a donation, thank you so much. Remember, when we advance a budget goal or legislation, the ARC itself doesn't benefit financially. Your private support is what drives us. Together, we have endless possibilities.
Thank you, Leo, and I can't wait to hear about these stories. This year has been particularly challenging, and people have shown incredible resilience and a fearless attitude to overcome whatever has come their way. I want to acknowledge some of the sponsors of our Endless Possibilities Gala and Auction. In particular, we are deeply grateful to Tracy and John Atkinson for their lead gift to the gala. Many thanks to Tracy and John. You are an inspiration.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tracy Atkinson.
John Atkinson here.
We really want to thank you all for joining us tonight and for generously supporting the ARC of Massachusetts. I've been on the board for the ARC for the past 10 years, and it's a wonderful organization. I really want to thank Leo and all the staff at the ARC for just the amazing work that they do. Many of you know that we have a son with special needs. His name is Michael. And we really wouldn't be able to know that we have all the services for Michael without the great work that the ARC does to be able to ensure that those services are available for him. So again, thank you so much. Your support just means the world to us and to my son Michael and to others like him. So thanks very much, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Many thanks from me too. We couldn't have done it without you. Thanks for the special relationship.
And we're pleased to have Governor Charlie Baker with us tonight. Thank you for joining us, Governor.
Good evening, everybody. This is Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker. I want to thank you, Paula, for that introduction. Over the course of the last year, we've all faced challenges created by this pandemic, but people across Massachusetts have risen to the occasion to support their neighbors, their families, and their communities through this time of great need. Despite the serious challenges facing intellectually and developmentally disabled residents, this community in particular has continued to display tremendous resiliency. We've seen family and other caregivers step up to provide 24/7 care, and many adults with disabilities have served on the front lines as essential workers throughout this crisis. Direct support professionals working in congregate settings have given their all, sometimes staying in quarantine homes for weeks at a time. Recognizing the unprecedented challenges, our administration's been proud to partner with the ARC of Massachusetts and caregivers across the Commonwealth to provide additional resources for staff, day and congregate care services, and family support. We're thankful to everyone at the ARC of Massachusetts for being there to provide critical advocacy and services for people with disabilities, their families, and caregivers as we continue to navigate this pandemic. And we're especially grateful to our residents with disabilities and their caregivers for continuing to inspire us each day with their tenacity this year more than ever. And we look forward to continuing to work together to provide the resources necessary for all residents to succeed, both during and long after this crisis. Thank you, and I hope to see you in person next year because, let's face it, that's a lot more fun. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of the program.
We also have remarks from Senator Ed Markey. Senator, thank you.
I am proud to recognize your work and look forward to continuing to work with the ARC of Massachusetts, the champion for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities and their families. And I thank everyone who took part in organizing another year of collaboration, education, and advocacy. I thank you for all that you do. Thank you for supporting this great organization. I am going to be there every step of the way, fighting to ensure you have the resources you need in order to do the job which you do every single day of the year. And I hope that you all have a wonderful event because you deserve it. You are a special group of people, and I am proud to represent you in the United States Senate.
And we also celebrate the following for their generosity and commitment to helping people with disabilities: PwC, Scott and Julie Borchardt, Amigo Incorporated, KPMG, People's United Bank, Special Needs Law Group of Massachusetts, VinFen. It's quite a list. Thank you so much, and please join them in supporting the ARC.
So what do we got going on today? Anything exciting?
My name is Amber Steele. I oversee group homes for individuals with disabilities. And right now, while my role would have been primarily more administrative, now it's whatever is needed for the day, even more so than it was before. With the coronavirus, we've spent a lot more time having to go into the programs and work directly with staff and individuals to make sure that we had enough staff to keep everybody safe.
My name is Shaylita Ruiz, and I work as a staff support. I've been here since the house opened. I love what I do. I love working with the residents. It has been a little hard due to COVID, but you know, it's well worth the ride. I look at the residents like my own family. When COVID first started, the first spike, we were thoroughly cleaning the house, doing everything we needed to do, keeping the residents safe. We all were able to beat that first round. The second round, it hit us, everyone in the house.
Once your first person tests positive or your first one or two people test positive, the staff in the program, the managers, the individuals, it's very anxiety provoking. You can sort of feel it coming. You're wondering what's going to be next. And so there's one staff positive, then two, and then maybe two individuals, and then 3, 4, 5 staff positive. And as these keep rolling in day to day, you have to keep adjusting.
It was pretty hard having to quarantine away from the residents when we all tested positive. I was calling daily, just checking on them, making sure they were okay. I was worried and afraid, you know, what could happen, because we are a team and we work as a team in this house.
You're more and more worried for people's health and safety. Are they going to be okay? Who's going to get sick? Who's going to be left to staff the programs? And in some of those cases, we've had staff literally working for days straight, almost the entire 24 hours a day, except for where maybe they could take a break and catch a couple of hours sleep in between.
Then coming back, wearing the PPE suits, masks, covers over the face, it was very hard to breathe. I would have to step out from time to time just to like catch my breath.
And so I went and started doing direct care shifts in the programs, working with staff. And the staff, when I went in there, had been on shift for days, and they weren't sure how or who, if anybody, was going to be able to come and relieve them. And to be able to offer them that little bit of a break, even if it was to sleep for a few hours or to let them have a few quiet minutes alone so that they could keep going, is really what you do this job for, to be there for people when they need you the most. We all need to do what we can to support each other and get through this.
What kept me going was them being positive, drawing pictures, making cards of how much they appreciate you, not giving up. You know, thank you for helping me shower this morning. Thank you for making my favorite scrambled eggs. They're very appreciative. That just kept me going.
People develop this sense of closeness and support, and the sense of community we had before is just really amplified, because the people, when you walk through that door, those may be the only people they've seen for weeks because of quarantines and lockdown, and it can be very isolating. And for staff to be able to come into that situation and still make individuals smile and still pat each other on the back and still get the job done under circumstances like none of us have ever seen before, it's just truly amazing. And they really deserve so much recognition for the work they're doing with individuals every day.
Thank you, Amber and Shay, for sharing your story and finding new ways to keep our community engaged and healthy. The story highlights how, in the midst of the pandemic, the sense of community grew stronger in the Berkshires among individuals and staff and families. Please make sure to make your donations or bid on an auction item today and help people like Amber and Shay continue their important work in our community. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge some of our Gala supporters. Civitas Strategies, Christine and James Connor, Fletcher Tilton, Susanna Payton, and John Campbell. United Healthcare.
So please, make a donation so we can do the work we need to do to support people like Amber and Shay across the Commonwealth. And your support will help us give them those tools so that they can facilitate good lives in the community for everyone. Isn't that what we all want? And now we have a story about a home some miles southwest of Boston managed by LifeWorks. These are individuals who have lived with family much of their lives, some of them well into their 30s, because of the medical needs that they have. The only alternatives in the past would have been an institution. The individual's medical needs placed them at great risk, and often they would have to be hospitalized. As we met with state decision makers, one of our leaders, Janet Rico, shared the story, her story, and those of other families. As a result, Secretary Sutters, with the support of Commissioner Ryder and her team at the Department of Developmental Services, made a big decision. They would authorize a medical home. This is that story of the home and the 5 individuals living there. Join us as we look at this story.
I'm Mary Teresa Lee, the nurse manager for the program in Westwood. My duties and responsibility are hiring and maintaining the staff. We do the scheduling, we do all of the medications, and we do all of the ADLs for the residents of the program.
My name is Tara Hume, and I'm the program manager at the group home here in Westwood. A lot of my role is very behind the scenes, making sure that the house has all of the supplies it needs so that the nurses focus on taking care of the clients, and I kind of like help from behind, make sure that they have what they need.
Anything that this group of residents need for their daily living and comfort is right at our fingertips.
One thing that is amazing about this house is that the knowledge is in the building. It's the first of its kind.
But it's the staff, the amazing nurses that are there. People just enjoy coming to work and wanting to be there. That's different. That just shows that it's a whole village of people who really love and want to take care of these residents. They give us such joy and so much laughter and love that the nurses have just enjoy coming to work.
You see up there, you can see the sky. Oh no! We're going to the airplane.
We were very fortunate and blessed that this house was able to be built without any work stoppage at all at the start of the pandemic, even through the pandemic. And then the fact that we were able to open on time in June was just phenomenal from all ends of the spectrum, that these clients were in great need at their home to come back into being with us.
One of my favorite things is the way that they engage with each other, because we'll kind of wheel them next to each other, and then they'll turn and like look at each other, and you know that there's engagement. It's like, hey roomie, how are you doing?
So every morning we have our resident John, who has got to be right there with us.
Hi, Johnny.
He had absolute amazing parents that took care of him by themselves for 40 years. So we actually kept John on his schedule from home.
You know, people would approach us, you know, like, how do you do it? Or something like that. And I'd say, well, you know, you love your children. You just do what you have to do.
Seeing the support that the parents have given to their kids over the years, I'm blown away to really turn their whole life around and dedicate every hour of their day to making sure that their children had the best. And I really think that this house is another step in that journey.
We felt we can do it ourselves, but things got very difficult, especially since he didn't sleep very well at nights. So we started out by getting night nursing. At least we could sleep at nights. And that worked out for many years. And then I think that the turning point came when Maida needed hip surgery. And that really drove home the point that we need to plan for the future in case something happens to us as we got older. And we really needed to look at a place for John to live where we can no longer take care of him. The house was built in less than 9 months, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a gorgeous home and with great staff members. And we can't believe it.
Who would have ever thought we would ever have this home? I mean, it's like a dream come true.
Brett and Nicholas are both brothers. They were also cared for by amazing parents in their own home.
It was just such a pleasure to take care of them and see how they transformed so many people's lives without saying a word.
Yeah, especially Nicholas. He brought peace to a lot of people who used to come and visit him.
I believe because of Nikki and Brett, we've seen the true humanity of people that other people may not have ever experienced.
Nicholas would make direct eye contact with you, and you could see the happiness and love coming from his face.
And we found very early on that he loved beautiful music. He loved Sarah Brightman.
And Brett, on the other hand, doesn't say words, but he does communicate with verbal sounds when he's very happy.
A happy day for Bretty boy.
He'll talk back to the television. He'll talk to us.
You're like the elephant.
He'll turn his head if there's a TV in the room. And he never had a TV in his bedroom here. He's living like a king over there.
Brett has done amazing. He's now so receptive to us. He's done really, really well.
The care at the house is much better, and we worry less because of it as well.
How can we do this alone? You know, what would we have done? I don't know.
I think the biggest change was Nicholas. He was as happy as I've ever seen him. He became more alert. He tracked us. He stared at us. He tried to communicate with us. We couldn't believe it. He wasn't in a bedroom. He was all over that house. And, 5 nurses that knew him were with him still. So I think that brought him great comfort. And we were just thrilled for Nicky. He got out. He went to Castle Island. They took him everywhere. We didn't have that ability with the both of them to actually go anywhere, but those nurses just took him out. I mean, we were very grateful for that. And to us, this was just like a dream come true, a miracle that everything we needed was going to be there with all the support and round-the-clock nursing.
Nicholas and Brett, in the past medical history, they have been hospitalized on an average of 4 to 5 times a year, always in an ICU setting. But since being in the home, neither of them have had a hospitalization stay. Nicholas, he is definitely our precarious one in the sense that he can, his lungs are so fragile. We have been able to really keep Nicholas out of the hospital for the longest period of time, unfortunately, until now with a case of the COVID.
For the last couple of weeks, we were concerned about the COVID, but the house was very strict. We could not visit John. We only could see him through FaceTime. And then 2 or 3 of the clients tested positive, but John were negative.
Nikki just started to kind of have intermittent fevers and wasn't doing well. It was very sudden, and then they took him to the hospital, and so he got sick very quickly. I thought he could do it this time. I was cautiously optimistic because he's done it every single time.
He loved life, and it shows you how precious life is. He showed us that.
This is a pandemic that, it snuck its way in, unfortunately, at the very tail end of this, right before we could get vaccinated.
Nikki's last months have been the happiest of his in a long time. And so that's a beautiful thing.
Nikki has started responding to us by, looking right at us when we speak to him. He's been turning his head a little bit, which is more than he was able to do at home, being in a room by himself with just one nurse. I mean, now we have 4 nurses. He's got 4 roommates. He's got Tara there. I mean, people talking to him all the time. Really has changed his life. And we just were hoping to give him a lot more than 7 months.
Nicky was thriving in that house. He was doing well. They were taking great care of him. I'll tell you, it's a measure of a society, how they take care of their elderly and they take care of their sick.
They've been treated like royalty. We will never, ever get over how they've been treated beautifully. And they had the best chance possible to have the most beautiful life they could.
The staff was incredible, and I think that helped a lot.
We're so grateful to the ARC for this home.
It's never going to be exactly like they were at home, but it's pretty darn close. The staff, they care for these individuals as if they were their own.
As Scott noted in his welcome, the pandemic has cost us too many lives. We dedicate this presentation to Nick and John. Their legacy continues through this home and opportunity for others. Thank you to the families and staff who shared their heartfelt stories and continue to demonstrate their commitment. Your support means so much for the individuals and families. Support the ARC's advocacy, including assistance for those living with family or semi-independently, and help us work for a better life for persons with disabilities every single day. Please make sure to make your donations or bid on an auction item using the link on this webpage.
I'd like to thank some more of our generous donors and sponsors. Bronze sponsor, EY. Supporter sponsors, the Arc of the South Shore, Rick Daswani. Friends, Katrin Abak, in memory of Judy Zacek. Disability Law Foundation, Fallon Health, Diane Glennon, GRI. And some more friends, Andrew James Lawson Foundation, Mariscal Special Needs Law, the New England Council, Tempest Unlimited, and Meta and D. Unterweger. The Center of Hope Foundation, Economize Time Services, and in honor of Judy Zacek, Affinia Financial Group, and Doug Flutie Jr., Foundation for Autism. Thank you all for your generosity. I also want to take this opportunity to thank the so many people and groups that support our advocacy year-round. This includes the chapters, of course, as I mentioned before, a foundation of our advocacy. It also includes human service providers who are part of our agency sponsorship program. We also appreciate our board of directors that support the cause so ably, and the steering committee for policy and advocacy. And last but not least, many of you watching tonight that support our efforts year-round. Thank you so much. And now I'd like to introduce Vibeke and Gustav Christensen. Vibeke was a board member, and the two of them have been longtime supporters of the ARC's efforts. And they will share a comment about the importance of the ARC in advocacy and achieving outcomes.
I would just like to thank the ARC for what you have done. I would hate to think where we would be today without the ARC. I mean, I will forever be grateful to all those men and women who worked so hard and so dedicated to create good lives for our children. It's absolutely amazing. And it continues. Thank you, Leo, for the wonderful job. We are grateful.
I'll echo that and just echo as well. Even in a wealthy state like Massachusetts, you have to fight for the budget every year. Every special account has to be fought for, right? Because everyone else is trying to get it. And so that's your constant battle that you can never get about. And then how do you improve the lives you talked about? There's all these programs that you need to get funding for. So no, we are just full of gratitude and in awe of what you guys have accomplished in the, whatever, 35 years we have known of you. Yeah.
Thank you, Gustav and Vibeke, so much. Appreciate your participation. As they referred to our advocacy, in our 67 years, we've had decades of achievements, whether it was in the early days, worrying about access to schools and summer camps, or as the years went on, advocating for family support, adult services through Turning 22 programs, and then eventually over the decades, the concepts of equity and inclusion came to the forefront. These were important issues that evolved over the decades. And as Scott mentioned, COVID-19 has had a tremendous impact on our community. And we had to pivot. And because of past donations, we were able to pivot effectively. In the early months, we held 4 webinars a week. We had a survey where 500 of you responded and helped guide our actions over the next several months. We advocated for a stable, secure safety net with the Commonwealth, for additional funding. And last but not least, we talked about the dignity of each life. The history of health inequity for our community is significant, and we made sure we set up an additional web page to educate crisis team physicians as the hospitals grew with patients so that they would treat people with disabilities equitably and also allow people to make visits with them at times because of the difficulty in communication. It was a matter of life and death. And now, join me in watching Lindsay Mello, a college student majoring in music.
Hello, my name is Lindsay Mello. I am 23 years old and a violin performance major at UMass Dartmouth. Tonight, I present you with an excerpt of the third movement of the Kabalevsky Concerto in C major.
Well, thank you, Lindsay. That was incredible. Please remember to make your donations or bid on an auction item today using the links on this webpage.
And now, join me in watching our next story. It speaks to our work in equity and expanding services to people with disabilities, in this case through employment, where individuals develop a sense of pride, independence, and most of all, find a pathway to community. Join us.
Hi, Andrew.
Hey,
Good morning.
good morning to you too.
Ready for work?
Yeah.
All right.
My name's Aldrin Sergile, and I work for Encompass. I am a career specialist, and I help individuals find employment out in the community. My job is to advocate for the individuals when they can't advocate for themselves. Our job is to make sure that we serve everyone. When you find employment for an individual, their like world just lights up. It brings you joy because you see how much this affects them in a positive way. Now they feel a sense of independence. A lot of these guys, that's all they want. They want to be treated the same like everybody else. So when you find them employment, it's like the best thing.
Have a good one, Andrew.
You too. Bye now.
Bye now.
When I see my individuals have a sense of purpose and they feel responsible and grown up when they're out in the community having their own job and their own money and like a lifestyle, because a lot of them make friends out there and stuff like that. And it brings me joy to see that. The pandemic happened and a lot of them weren't able to go to work. And you saw how it affected them being home and not able to go to work and being worried that they'll lose their jobs. Individuals who I was able to salvage their jobs, I see them now and it's like they're back in action, back to normal, and they're happy, and that brings me joy, and I love seeing that on a regular basis, being in this position. I met Andrew 3 years ago, and I met him in a company called Norton Medical. When I first met him, he was very quiet and he didn't really say much. He was very focused on his work and he was very committed to what he was doing. Andrew learns at a very, very fast. If he sees it once, he knows it. He makes balloon catheters and all the balloon catheters have to be the same. Andrew will make sure that he does it the exact way that he sees it on the computer. He will measure it. He has all his tools and he averages about 50 to 70 balloon catheters a day. So every time I see him, I go, "Hey, Andrew, how many people did you save today?" And he'll say, "Oh, I saved 30 people today. I saved 50 people today. I saved 70 people today." So it's just amazing. I've seen what he was doing and I was like, I had to really watch. It's not easy. And people around the job, they respect him. They see what he can do. There's always those people where they're scared to approach, people in this position because they don't know what to say. When I see that, I tell them, "Hey, why don't you ask Andrew?" And they see that Andrew is just like them. So they're just like, whoa. So there's not that fear anymore when I give them, when I tell them, "Hey, listen, you can ask Andrew. He knows. Maybe he doesn't speak much, but if you ask him, if you talk to him, he's gonna talk to you."
What'd you do before this?
Muffin Town.
Muffin Town. Okay.
When you do see people actually try and show them the respect that you show them, it's a good sight.
What made you change careers?
I was getting frustrated.
You were getting frustrated. Are you frustrated here at all?
No.
You are advocating for these individuals. You're their cheerleader. That's what I tell anybody who comes into this field. you're going to be a professional cheerleader. I do go and talk to new employees. I tell them, listen, you will have individuals who commit long-term to places. You also have people who are dedicated. They just want to make sure that they do a good job. So they're going to make sure that they gain the respect and the trust of everybody.
Aldrin, thank you so much for sharing your story. It is inspiring to see people like Andrew working in the community and building bridges. Thank you for your vital and loving service. We're nearing the end of our virtual gala. Thank you so much for staying with us and hearing about our stories about providing independence and pride through employment opportunities, providing a home and the best life possible for adults with complex medical conditions, and building a stronger community through the pandemic. If you haven't done so, now is the moment to make a donation or bid on one or more of the fabulous auction items by going to the links of this webpage, and you'll be supporting the ARC of Massachusetts and the important work it does in our community through advocacy, empowerment, and education.
Thank you, Paula, for being our host today. It's hard to believe, but you've been on this journey with us since our 50th anniversary. We appreciate you so much.
On a final note, I want to acknowledge the ARC of Massachusetts' tireless work to deliver exceptional advocacy and education to their constituency throughout the pandemic. Leo and his team have been on the front line advocating for needed funding and access for our community to care, treatment, and vaccines. And on behalf of our community, I applaud and thank them for their service on our behalf.
As you saw tonight, there are endless possibilities for people with disabilities, and yes, even during a pandemic. And we see that in how individuals themselves drive for participation and inclusion, the staff who support them in achieving valued outcomes, and the families that go above and beyond. Together, we can achieve a difference. Please go to our website, arcmass.org, learn about us, and please support our work. We're counting on you.
Please, please keep supporting the ARC of Massachusetts. Their work and their dedication is what is encouraging all of us to keep going.
Please keep supporting the ARC of Massachusetts.
Keep supporting the ARC because they advocate for people like me to be on the front lines to support individuals like Andrew.
So please feel generous. Give a little. Everything counts. And we would so appreciate that to help other families besides us. And we thank you for that.
Please keep supporting the ARC of Massachusetts. Thank you.
Please continue to support the ARC of Massachusetts.
Please keep
supporting the ARC.
It's made our lives and my children's lives so much better.
Together, we can make endless possibilities a reality.